Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalishalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. In this session, we will be discussing from one verse, the 20th verse of the 16th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But since the purport is a big one, we will discuss this verse in two different sessions. So this session we will be discussing part 1, the first half of the purport of this verse, as Prabhupada explains this elaborately. It's a very important verse. So the 20th verse, Padair Nyunam Shochasi Maikapadam Atmanam Va Vrishalair Bhokshamanam Aho Suradin Hrutayagnya Bhagan Praja Utaswin Maghavatyavarshati. Further, here is a description of the conditions in this Kali Yuga of people in general. In various ways they suffer, in so many ways. Okay. So the meaning of this 20th verse is as follows. Dharma is speaking to Mother Earth. Dharma in the form of a bull is addressing Mother Earth in the form of a cow. So what is Dharma telling the cow? I have lost my 3 legs and I am now standing on 1 leg only. Are you lamenting for my state of existence? Or are you in great anxiety because henceforward the unlawful meat eaters will exploit you? Or are you in a sorry plight because the demigods are now bereft of their share of sacrificial offerings because no sacrifices are being performed at present? Or are you grieving for living beings because of their sufferings due to famine and drought? So different questions raised by Dharma are indicative of the different ways people suffer in Kali Yuga. Due to this age, people suffer in so many ways. So, very elaborate purport written by Srila Prabhupada, and we will go through this purport in 2 different sessions. The first half of the purport I will read and we will discuss this. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, with the progress of the age of Kali, 4 things particularly, namely the duration of life, mercy, the power of recollection, and moral or religious principles will gradually diminish. Diminish means they will keep reducing. So the duration of life is reducing. This is already explained in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, that Kali Yuga, people's maximum duration of life is 100 years. About 100 years. Actually, the Shastras say maximum duration of life in Kali Yuga is 120 years. 120 years. That's how you hear sometimes in Japan somebody is living who's 107 years, 110 years. So the maximum duration of life in Kali Yuga is 120 years, which means that people in the earlier ages called Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, they used to live a longer lifespan. And that is described in the Bhagavatam. What is the lifespan of people in earlier ages? In Dwapar Yuga, people used to live an average of 1,000 years, 10 times more than that in Kali Yuga, approximately. And previous to Dwapara Yuga and Treta Yuga, people used to live 10,000 years. Now you may not believe this. People may have difficulty in accepting this fact. Shastras are speaking facts, 100% facts. There is no exaggeration, there is no mythology, there is no fiction. These are all 100% facts. Perfect knowledge is available, accurately described in the scriptures. And in Satya Yuga, the first in the cycle of 4 yugas, the best age on this earth planet, Satya Yuga, millions of years back, the duration of human form of life was 100,000 years. What does 100,000 years come to? 1 lakh years in our Indian system of counting. 1 lakh years, 100,000. So, as the deterioration sets in when time progresses, then the duration of life reduces. In fact, even in Kali Yuga, the duration of life further reduces from 120 years maximum to 100 years, 80 years, 60 years, 40 years, and towards the end of Kali Yuga, people will live maximum of 20 years. This Kali Yuga will last 4,32,000 years. Specific calculation is given in the Bhagavatam. Say 4 lakhs of years. And towards the end of Kali Yuga, the duration of life would have been reduced so much that if somebody is 20 years old, he will be considered a grand old man. This is the nature of Kali Yuga. So here the 12th canto specifically describes, Prabhupada is quoting from the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam, with the progress of the age of Kali, 4 things keep on diminishing, reducing. What is that? First thing is the duration of life. Second thing, mercy, the compassion people have in their heart for different things, that also reduces. People become more hard-hearted. They become indifferent. They don't care. They have no compassion. Or compassion reduces, mercy reduces. And we can see this even in our own lifetime, like just about 30 or 40, 50 years back, if a person is on the street affected by some accident or something, immediately a passerby would try to do something to help that person. But nowadays, with the progress of the age of Kali, we can see that most people are so very concerned about their own family, their own business, their own personal things, that they won't even turn and look at others on the street when they are walking. You can particularly see this, especially I have seen this in New York. New York people are so busy that they are straight looking and keeping on walking with their own thing. They are not just even turning and seeing this side or that side what's happening. So people are losing that sense of compassion for the fellow human being, that humanitarian quality, fellow human being. Society means we're concerned about fellow human beings, not just about ourselves. We're not so selfish. But that selfishness increases in Kali Yuga. And the third thing is power of recollection. Power of recollection. Memory power. Memory power reduces in Kali Yuga. That's also very obvious. We have got devices like mobile phone, because of which we don't have to remember phone numbers, but you just speak to somebody who was not living in the with the mobile phone. The elderly people in your house, you talk to them. They used to remember so many phone numbers. I used to remember phone numbers, so many phone numbers I used to remember. But now there's no need. Besides that, even the power of recollection is reduced. With these gadgets, it has made our memory power less and less and less. And this has got a particular significance why this is being mentioned. Memory power is reduced. What way memory power? We'll discuss that. And moral or religious principles also reduce, go on reducing with Kali Yuga, progress of Kali Yuga. People are becoming more and more irreligious, immoral. Immoral, irreligious, they go hand in hand. Morality and religious principles. They are not disconnected. Please don't think they are disconnected. So people are becoming more irreligious and they are hence more immoral. They don't hesitate to tell lies. They are more cruel. Especially they are cruel towards innocent creatures like the cow and bull. This is one symptom of Kali Yuga, present age of Kali. They become more and more and more sinful. Cruel. Sinful means cruel. Cruel towards the cow and the bull. So, therefore, the indication of this reducing duration of life, reducing memory power, reducing moral values in society, and compassion people have for fellow human beings or other creatures. This is indicated by dharma standing on one leg, bull standing on one leg. Why? What is the indication? Dharma standing on one leg. Since dharma or the principles of religion would be lost in the proportion of 3 out of 4, the symbolic bull was standing on one leg only. The condition of the cow was described in the previous verse. Now the condition of the bull is being described. Dharma is addressing Mother Earth. Dharma in the form of a bull. The personality of religious principles is addressing Mother Earth in the form of a cow and asking, are you lamenting for my state of existence because I am standing on one leg? So what is the meaning of this one leg? 3 out of 4, the principles of religion are lost. What does it mean? When 3/4 of the population of the whole world becomes irreligious, this situation is converted into hell for the animals, the domestic animals. It's a hellish condition. They suffer so much. 3/4 of the population of the whole world becomes irreligious. That means the number of atheists, faithless people is increasing more and more as Kali Yuga progresses. So this is the beginning of Kali Yuga. 3/4 of the population is irreligious. But as Kali Yuga progresses, towards the end of Kali Yuga, the 12th canto describes, most people will be living like animals. They will be living like animals. There will be no human values left. Practically zero. Almost zero. Of course, it will never be zero. But almost zero. Very, 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 very few people who follow religious principles, who are kind, who have compassion, who are having some good memory power, who know what is the goal of life, who care for others. All this type of symptoms of human society will vanish as Kali Yuga progresses. Towards the end of Kali Yuga, it will be a very bad situation. But even now we can see, even though it's not as bad as it can get towards the end of Kali, even now for the animals particularly, there is no protection, there is no one to voice their grievances. That millions of cows are killed every day simply for being eaten. As beef in the United States of America particularly, and in general in many other countries also. It is being killed. So many cows are being killed. And cow killing is the greatest sin. Please understand this from the scriptures. A cow killer has to rot in hell, punishment, suffer punishment in hell for as many years as there are hair on the body of the cow. Cow killing is the greatest sin. So the punishment also is the greatest. It is the greatest punishment in hell. Severe sinful activities, one is specially taken to hell after the end of life, when we have to quit this body. Yamadutas will come and take us to hell if we have been very, very sinful and we are not atoned for these sinful activities. So, chanting Hare Krishna is the best way of atoning for all sinful activities, and of course stopping meat eating, intoxication, gambling and illicit sex. We can be saved from going to hell. I'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.